Hello YouTube, and welcome back to yet another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. And today we will be looking at yet another product from Machine Rail. This is one of their older products. This is a few years old now. These are their Alco 0660 Mallets for the Dom Pedro, which is what we're on right now, their Dom Pedro route. So there are two locomotives. We will be taking a look at each locomotive. The other one's way back there because for some wonky reason my train simulator resets. I got a small window whenever I get near a bunch of locomotives that I can take control of. I got a small window to be able to take control of each one before it, I guess, resets. It doesn't let me take control of them, so I have to spread them out like this to do this. But you'll get two different versions, one with knuckle couplers and then an earlier version with link and pin couplers. Unfortunately, these are only for South America. They're only lettered for the South America, the Dom Pedro route. So, which is, that's alright. It's certainly odd to see South America represented in really any train simulator. So it's cool that they take the time to do that, or took the time. I don't know if they plan to continue, but it's really nice locomotives. This wheel arrangement was actually the first Mallet owned by the Baltimore and Ohio. The Baltimore and Ohio Railroad bought the very first Mallet type to be put in service in the United States. It was an 060 or 0660. And Canada's one and only compound locomotive was an 0660. So relatively popular used locomotive among the railroads, or wheel arrangement. It's a bit odd for any kind of road service lacking a pilot or a trailing truck. These would typically be used for heavy drags up and down hills. So it is kind of odd to see them used as, I guess they're used as road locomotives in, or were used as road locomotives in South America. Because, yeah, I can't imagine that there's too many places one would need one, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find much history on them. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on the locomotives. Machine Rail didn't really provide any history for them, and a Google search has not brought up much. Matter of fact, if you Google right now, Wikipedia, it doesn't show a single 0660 in South America. I believe it shows it for the United States, Canada, the Philippines, who else? Germany. That's really about it. So, yeah, I haven't managed to find really any history on them, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. It is a neat idea, though. A neat locomotive. It's, we don't always get, especially in Train Simulator Classic, Railworks, we really don't see mini Mallets. Man, kudos to Smokebox for their products, but Big Boy and the Challenger, it's been done twice now in Railworks. Big Mallets, big articulated locomotives. There's done in just about every train simulator ever. Not the first time we've seen them. Probably won't be the last, but mini Mallets like this, I call them mini Mallets, they're quite small compared to, say, a Big Boy or something. Tend to get overlooked. Now granted, a lot of people wouldn't have a lot of use for them in Train Simulator. As I said, these are typically used, at least in the United States and Canada, these are typically used for drags, pushers, helpers, things of that nature. These are not built for going over the road on their own normally. There are some exceptions to the cases, as there almost always is, but usually what would happen is the train would come up to a steep grade, an odd spot in their mainline services that would have an unnaturally long steep grade. And so locomotives like this would sit at the bottom of the grade, and whenever the train would get there, they would stop, attach this locomotive, front or rear, didn't really matter, depending on how long the train was. Usually it was the rear, but sometimes you'd see them up front. And they would help push the train up the mountain. And then once the train got to the mountain, they'd unhook. These would go back down the mountain. The train would continue on its way, and rinse, repeat, however many times. But I don't really know what they would have been used for in South America. Like I said, I couldn't really find much of anything on them in South America, so I can't really attest to their history, or especially this particular model's history. All I know is Machine Rail's got them listed as a 1907 Alco 0660 Mallet. So let's dive into it. Now, as I said, this is one of their older models. I believe they've redone them because they were packaged as two separate packs, two separate locomotives. I don't know whether or not they actually like redid them per se, if they just repackaged them, but I do know they I do know they repackaged them because I ended up with both of them, but what else can I say about it? Like I said, not much. There's unfortunately there's very little information. It's a little frustrating that Machine Rail didn't put any information on them. Definitely a loud locomotive. Really nice looking. Really nice looking. You can see places where Machine Rail has definitely improved in their recent years. While this looks decent, it definitely looks more like a photograph placed over an object, more so than the more natural simulated effect. But again, not bad looking, not bad. We got our internal piping modeled, which is kind of neat. That's our steam piping that'll run to the rear set of cylinders here. Neat to see that modeled. I mean, yeah, you really don't see it, but it's cool to see it added in. Really good looking locomotive overall. And with the knuckle couplers, truth be told, if one really wanted to, you could reskin this too. You know, whatever you wanted it for, whatever you wanted to do with it. But great looking locomotive. Inside the cab, got windows that move separately, which is nice. Doors. Other door. We do have our headlights right. Cab lights. I do believe our windows and doors translate outside. Yep. I think the headlights are a keybind, and I think that's all that they are. Yep, they're there. Cab lights are U. Or, yeah, you can just click on the bulb itself. It definitely takes a hit on my frames. Looking straight forward, I'm fluctuating 80 to 90 whenever we settle out. Flick on those cab lights and it plummets down to 50, 60. So cab lights definitely take a toll on the frame rates. Camera view could stand to be changed a little bit. It looks like I'm a really short person with the J-bar in my head. Sounds pretty good overall. It really does. Nice big roar and fire. The fire is entertaining. Like I said, this is one of their older models. They put this out a long while ago. Sander is unusual. It's over here on the fireman's side. Our injectors. Can't fiddle with the oil. Matter of fact, can you even yank on the bell? Nope, can't play with the bell. Cut off, blower, cut off. Oh right, because our face is inside the J-bar. Cylinder cocks. Won't let me touch. Yeah, your J-bar's dead square in the way. Train brake. Can't play with any of that. Our HUD shows a locomotive brake. I don't see it. So I'm assuming this one doesn't have a locomotive brake. Fair warning, when you spawn in, as you saw on the HUD, your fire level is going to be really, really low. So you're going to have to build that up. Because this thing will chew through steam ridiculously fast. But this is effectively the modernized version. You're going to modernize an older version to go with the older content. But as I said, modernize here. We've got electric headlights, knuckle couplers, new paint job. I don't know what else is different. We'll have to reverse back there to the other locomotive and compare them side by side. But really good looking locomotive overall. So let's listen to our bell. Let's close our windows and see if we have a change in sound. Nah, we really don't have a change in sound, but the bell does sound really good. Not gonna lie. Definitely sounds really good. Awesome sounding whistle. Awesome sounding whistle. I love it. And it is quillable. So while you're holding the space bar down, you press enter and it will quill out your whistle. It's a really good sounding whistle. most, my opinions of a tune played at the beginning of a whistle is kind of low. The whistle sounds great. I don't like hearing that tune played every single time I try to play the whistle. So, the short blast, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but full whistle, it sounds great. I'm just not a huge fan of the playable tune right off the bat. I kind of like how they did with the Great Northern Mastodons, where it's a little ways through the whistle. It's a little further down in the whistle file, so that when you try to play shorter whistle tunes, it doesn't interfere. But really good sounding whistle. Really good sounding whistle. Moving our J-bar does translate inside and outside the cab, which is quite nice. It doesn't actually adjust anything within our rods. I think Smokebox's products are the one and only things that changes anything on. But still definitely nice to see. Sounds quite nice. Really does. It doesn't quite have the real deep, thunderous exhaust that I would expect on a articulated locomotive like this, which I find kind of odd, but it is what it is. I'll take it further down the ride when we swap over. Like I said, my game does weird funkiness whenever it comes to trying to do different locomotives, but so let me finish pulling up to here. And swap. See, once these little icons go away, I don't get the option to swap between locomotives, so I have to do this. Now, I don't know why the knuckle couplers are showing up, because normally when you put this locomotive down, it has link and pin couplers, because most of their early stuff that comes with like the Mogul, the 440, and the 210, they're all link and pin couplers. So this locomotive is supposed to go with those. Not sure why the knuckle couplers are showing up, but it is what it is. Right off the bat, one of the first things you see is different: buffers. Modernized version doesn't have buffers. Also, this locomotive has an oil headlight instead of the electric headlight. Headlight placement has also been moved. This locomotive has a headlight on the tender for reverse operations. This locomotive does not. Different paint job, but honestly really nice weathering overall. Weathering looks really, really nice. That's really our biggest differences. So let's be our switches open here. As you can see, our fire level starts out really, really low, which is deceiving. most steam locomotives, when you place them down in Train Simulator, I believe with the exception of like Smoke Box's Consolidation, your fire is already built up to a pretty healthy level. So this can lead you to believe that, oh, my fire level is fine. And then you get like to 10 miles an hour and watch your steam just disappear. It's because your fire isn't built up. So build your fire level up before you try to run off with this locomotive. I'm not sure. I believe the whistles are... yeah, the whistle models are different. Not much else is really different, though. We'll kill our brakes off. Put it all running. Put our dayboard forward. Inside the cab really is just weathered. We got a little oil lamp inside the cab. It is kind of interesting that front and rear locomotives, engines per se, on a Mallet it's considered two separate engines under one boiler, but your two engines have handbrakes while your tender doesn't. It's kind of odd, but not a bad sounding locomotive overall. Really not. Like I said, I kind of expected it to be deeper. I expected our chuffs to be a lot deeper, but really not. Not as deep as I would have thought they would have been. I don't know why our injector is not pushing water in, but sometimes machine rail products are a little funky. Bell is the same. Different whistle though. And I adore that whistle. That is one of the best steam locomotive whistles in the game, without a doubt. And it is coolable. But man, that whistle sounds awesome. If I could put that on some other locomotives, I without a doubt would. It does have a little bit of a wind up, so the short whistle doesn't sound very good. Really nice sounding whistle though. Now these are not speed demons of a locomotive if you're looking for something that'll pick up and fly. Right now we're doing about 20. We got 50% on our throttle, but these are not high speed. Not by any means. Yeah, the ending loop sometimes picks in, sometimes doesn't. It's really weird. I don't know why, but coupler, texture's alright. Chain. Overall though, really good looking locomotive. This is one of my favorites for just a quick, easy run. In part, I'm a little bit biased. I love that whistle. That is, without a doubt, one of my personal favorites, that tune. if they would blend it a little better, they would go back and blend the loops a little bit better, I think without a doubt it would be my favorite period. I don't think, yeah, cord doesn't actually pull. Sad days. But really good looking locomotive. Really like it. Even for it being one of their earlier models. Like I said, there are some giveaways that their newer models don't. They blend a little bit better, I should say. Like, I don't know what we got going on right here. That's a little odd. Their sound work is definitely more refined now. Inside, you know, our fire looks, well, looks better in this model. Looks wonky as balls in that other one. But overall, their quality has definitely gotten better. So let's bring it to a stop now, shall we? $20, $25 mile an hour. That's about what these locomotives are known for. These are not fast. They're not built for speed. There's our water. Idle sounds are kind of eh. I don't know what the sound was setting your handbrake, but yeah, it's kind of weird things like that from their earlier modeling days. You see, it's kind of weird. Little things like that show up. Their locomotive plates are, as usual, stellar. Number plates and such are just awesomely well modeled. But yeah. Well, that's it, guys. Machine Rails 1907 Alco 0660. I believe these are $9 and some change, about $10. Link in the description as usual. Really cool locomotives. Please do go check them out. You will find them enjoyable, I think. Certainly unique, especially if you have their Dom Pedro route like I do. Which is a pretty decently done route. I do recommend checking it out. One of these days I'll do a video on it. But really well done. And fun locomotive for this route. But that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.